graphs of trigonometric functions. The graph of y equals to a sine bx plus c, and its characteristics are given as shown. Okay, so the graph is represented by the red color line you see here. Okay, the red one is y equals to a sine bx plus c, where a is the amplitude and the period will be 2 pi over b. Okay, so amplitude is actually, okay, it's like the height of the graph. This is the a. And there's another portion that's underneath the axis. There's another a. Okay, and then if a graph is y equals to negative a sine bx plus c, then it will be the blue color line. Next, the graph of y equals to a cosine bx plus c. This is cosine graph. Cosine graph, okay, as we all know, cosine, okay, 0 is 1. Okay, that's why it doesn't start from 0, it starts from here on top. Okay, and then if we have y equals to cosine x, it will look something like this, and it's 2 pi. Okay, if the b is 1, then the period will be 2 pi over b, which is 1, is 2 pi. In this case, the period here is 2 pi. What's the amplitude? Amplitude is the height here. This is your amplitude. Your amplitude, in this case, amplitude, the A is 1. So this table is showing y equals sine x, y equals to cosine x, and y equals to tangent x. So for sine, you can see, okay, it starts from the 0 going up at 90 degree. At 90 degrees, sine 90 is 1, sine 180 is 0. Then sine 270 degree is negative 1. Sine 360 is back to 0. Then cosine 0 degree is 1. Cosine 90 is 0. Cosine 180 is negative 1. Cosine 270 is 0. Cosine 360 is 1. Okay, so we're able to find the different points and join them up. Okay, and you get this shape. For tangent, okay, there are certain points whereby we don't get any value. They are represented by this vertical dotted line. So here, for the maximum and minimum value for sine and cosine graph is from negative 1 to 1. Okay, so you can see the minimum value is negative 1 for sine and cosine, and the maximum value is 1. Okay, both sine and cosine, the maximum value is 1. What about tangent x? Tangent can take any real values. There are no maximum or minimum value. Okay, so we cannot have a maximum or minimum value for tangent x. What about the period? For sine and cosine, the period is 360 degree or 2 pi. For tangent, it is 180 degrees. So amplitude is 1 for sine and cosine x, but the amplitude is not defined for tangent x. Okay, so the graph for sine and cosine, they are symmetrical about the vertical line through its maximum value. Okay, but for tangent x, there's no line of symmetry. Let's look at example 10. Find the maximum and minimum value of fx and the corresponding value of x in the interval of 0 degrees to 360 degrees. So part A, fx equals to 3 sine x. So previously we learned that fx, or we say y equals to sine x, okay? One period is 360 degree here, okay? And the graph starts from this 0, going up to 1, coming down, cutting at 0, going down to -1, and go back to 0 again. Okay, so 3 sine x means what? You multiply 3. Okay, so the amplitude instead of 1, now you multiply by 3, your amplitude becomes 3. -1, you multiply by 3, you get -3. Okay, and the shape still remains the same. So the range of values of sine x is -1 to 1. So hence, for 3 sine x means the range is -3 to 3. The maximum value of fx now is 3. Okay, and the minimum value of fx is -3. Part B, fx equals to 4 cosine x plus 1. So recall, when your fx equals to cosine x, the graph looks like that. The amplitude is 1 and -1. The maximum is 1, the minimum is -1. If you have 4 cosine x, it means it's going to multiply by 4. 1 times 4, I get 4. -1 times 4, I get -4. Okay, amplitude has changed. So the maximum value and the minimum value has changed when your graph becomes 4 cosine x. But bear in mind, the question says 4 cosine x plus 1. So what happens if you add 1? So before you plus 1, it will be -3. Okay, you may refer to the graph. Okay, so the maximum value now is 5 and the minimum value of fx is -3. Example C, fx equals to 3 minus 2 cosine x. Recall cosine x, so the graph is from -1 to 1. Okay, so if you are going to have -2 cosine x, fx equals to -2 cosine x means what? Instead of 1, you have to multiply by -2, so your maximum value will be 2. And then, what's your minimum value? It will be -2. Okay, so your graph looks like that. Okay, so from 2 to -2. So, there's a 3 in front. So we need to do a addition of 3. So what does it mean? The graph is going to go up by 3 units. Okay, so 2. Going up 3 units will be 2 plus 3 equals to 5. -2 plus 3 will be 1. So your maximum value will be 5. Your minimum value now is 1. So we represent our answer this way. Okay, between 1 to 5. Maximum value is 5, minimum value of fx is 1. Okay, try 10. Do this question in your exercise book. Pause the video and check back the answer when you are done. Okay, so the answer is 2. The minimum value is -2. For B, the answer of maximum value is 4 and the minimum value of fx is -6. As for C, the maximum value of fx is 7, the minimum value is 1. Example 11, the function f is defined by fx equals to 3 cosine 2x plus 5. State the amplitude and the period of f. Find the maximum and the minimum value of fx, sketch the graph, and also on the same axis, sketch the graph of y equals to -3 cosine 2x plus 5. Okay, previously we learned y equals to a cosine bx plus c. Okay, so we learned this. So we can compare, okay, and then we realize that the amplitude A is 3 and our B in this case is 2 and our C is 5. Okay, so the period is 2 pi divided by B, which is 360 degrees divided by 2 equals to 180 degrees. Part 2, what's the maximum value and the minimum value? To find the maximum value, okay, recall how the graph looks like. For cosine, the graph looks like that when you have a general graph. Okay, so the amplitude is from 1 to -1. So right now, it's 3 cosine. So multiply by 3. So this one will be 3. This one will be -3. And then we have to add 5 units. So the whole thing will shift upwards. So 3 plus 5, 8. And the -3 plus 5 is 2. So maximum is 8. The minimum value is 2. So that's how we can get the answer. If you remember by the method, it will be A plus C to get maximum and -A plus C to get the minimum. A is here. The amplitude is A. Next, sketch the graph. Okay, to sketch the graph, we need to draw the X and Y axis. Okay, and then with a suitable scale. Okay, then on the axis, we will label 45 degree, 90 degree, 135, and 180 degree. And then find, with the help of dash lines, we draw one period of a cosine curve. Okay, so the graph will look like this. Y equals to 3 cosine 2x plus 5 is the red color graph. Okay, and the last part of question say to draw y equals to -3 cosine 2x plus 5. That will be the reflection of it, okay, at the line y equals to 5. Okay, so from here, you reflect downwards, okay, like totally opposite. Okay, so y equals to 5 is like the line of symmetry. Try 11. Do this question in your exercise book. Pause the video and later check back for the answer. The answer is the amplitude A cosine bx plus c. So the A is 2. So amplitude is 2. And then period is 360 degree divided by B. The B is 3. So the period is 120 degree. What's the maximum and minimum value? Is A plus C and A -A plus C. So the A is 2 plus 4. The C is 4. And -A is -2 plus C, we get 2. Maximum answer is 6. Minimum is 2. How to draw the graph? You know the period is 120. So to draw the graph is from 0 to 120 degree. You can get one graph. Okay. And this one will be y equals to 2 cosine 3x plus 4. The point that in the middle is y equals to 4. Okay, it's based on this value, your C. And then you're asked to sketch y equals to -2 cosine 3x plus 4. Okay, so it is the reflection of this existing graph. So from here, we will reflect down. This is 2 units away, so this will be 2 units away. Okay, the amplitude is 2, remember? So the graph y equals to 2 cosine 3x plus 4 and y equals to -2 cosine 3x plus 4, they have the same